What is up guys, Nolly here, and welcome to my review, discussion and explanation of HoxHud. First of all, I'm going to go through all of the features and how they work, and then we're going to just see how well they work. So starting off here, they add just a very small addition, the ability to buy all assets at once. Next, getting up into the gameplay, you will see our timers, seconds and percentages. So instead of you just having a line to tell you how close you are to being spotted, you get a percentage out of 100. Then once you see me take a hostage, you notice another timer for all the motions and interactions I make. So for example, it's 0.5 of a second with my specific perk setup to cable tie this hostage and then put him down again. You'll notice over in the top right hand corner things start to change, but we'll go into them in a little more detail now. So we have, starting off, the number of hostages up at the top. Second down, we have the number of pages you can answer. Then we have the body bags, and finally the assets, which you see me trying to go through now and affect. Secondly, there's something the gameplay won't properly show, but I will talk you guys through. That is allies' interactions. So when an ally interacts with something such as this medikit, as I'm doing now, you'll see it pop up at the bottom when their name is. Not only will it tell you how long they are going to be doing that, but also exactly what they are doing. So setting up an ECM, for example, this allows you to chain them a little more successfully. And it just overall makes the application a little easier. You'll see another new addition to the HUD over in the top left hand corner as I use my loop on the camera. You'll see a countdown, which is extremely important. There's a couple of things that we'll see in the top left hand corner that allow you to micromanage all your times a little better. It can tell you exactly what you can do within that time, whether you could pick a lock or something along those lines, and it can be used in conjunction with your on-screen timers to the highest effect. Next up, you will notice me messing around with the top right hand corner and adding another one of those, I suppose they're perk symbols, as I take a dominated hostage. So you'll see another one has popped up there, and if I were to then Joker this guy, I would lose that and get a different icon for the Joker. This just allows you to keep track of the number of dominated guards. It was more useful before dominations got nerfed. You'll also see a health bar on him. This is one of the most important parts of HoxHud. You can see that that bullet did 16 damage, and it can allow you to work out just how easy it's going to be for you to take certain guards out. You'll notice I'm messing around with the pager up in the top left hand corner there, seeing how long it'll take to count down. It's got an 11-second countdown, and that's always information worth knowing. As I answer the pager here, you'll notice me move back on in and take a look at civilians. Now, what I'm going to do after these percentages, well, I'm trying to show you exactly how percentages work, how multiple percentages work, because they don't work quite as well as they could, and that's something I'm going to review and talk about later. Though I'm not sure exactly how I would make it better. You just see the detection rate of your highest. But you'll notice there is now an alarmed civilian icon in the top right hand corner, but as the alarm begins to go off, that will disappear. Of course, as I subdue them, that would also help it to disappear, and the icons just allow you to micromanage things like civilians and your whole stealth mechanics. Next up, you'll notice me setting up a drill. Ever been irritated by the fact that you can't see how much time left on the drill? Well, if you press tab with HoxHud, you'll see it within that menu. You'll notice there's a blue bar underneath it because I do have the drilling skills. Next up, looking at the health of companions. Works the exact same way looking at health of enemies works. Health is not static, it will change based on difficulty. Notice the health of the enemies going down as I shoot them. It's not just a flat max health, it will show you health as it decreases. Extremely useful for working out which weapon is going to be the most effective. Also, reload times are shown. Now we're going to talk about the bottom right hand side. You've got a few bars which mean very important things. You of course still have your shield, but you also have your timer before the shield recharges. The number inside is the number of downs you have before you end up going directly into custody, which is an extremely important fact that sometimes you may forget before you end up with a grey screen. And finally we have a stamina gauge, which is a little hard to see. That's just outside the number, and of course your regular health. Just above that you've got your kill count, your body shots and headshots. This is more of a competitive thing that doesn't really add anything beyond bragging rights. So, now we're just going to talk and review this, exactly how well this HUD works to improve your experience. Well, overall it is definitely worth downloading, there is no doubt about that. I only have a few small criticisms, but there is a lot of praise to be had. So first of all, just to give you a little background on HoxHud, it's been in development for a very long time, and on I believe the 6th of June it went live so everybody can use it. All you have to do is join their Steam group for it to fully activate. You download it, I believe there's a few places you can download it from. I actually got mine sent to me, so I'll try and find you guys the link in the description below. But I imagine most of you will either know what this is or have it downloaded already. So just recently they picked up a sponsor from Overkill. It's legitimized. They've been aware of it for a long time. It's really nice to see Overkill assisting them with this. It's going to help them do giveaways, was something that they picked up on particularly. So definitely something worth following, even if you're not a huge fan of the HUD itself. You're definitely going to see Overkill paying more heed to the community itself. And possibly the emergence of a greater workshop and modding community within Payday, which is already beginning to spring up all over the place. And this is definitely not a regressive mod, this is progressive. It may make gameplay slightly easier, but more manageable, and I would say what it does is it adds things that possibly should have been there from the start, and that's why Payday is starting to acknowledge it. One of my greatest criticisms, and this shows you just how great a mod this is the colour. I wish they weren't using such a sort of neon green for everything. I'm just not a huge fan of that colour, and when making videos, as I will be in the future, it's important for me my videos look good. And so if there's one thing I would change that colour up to, I don't know, just darken it, improve atmosphere within stealth, and not make it look like a sort of neon sign on my screen. That is my greatest criticism. Next up is the size of the stealth bar, sorry, the stamina bar I should say. The stamina bar I feel should be a little more prominent and placed in a slightly better position within your screen. It seems like such important information to be so hard to see, and it's something that I've always been searching for, to know exactly how much stamina I have, see how much it's affected by perks. They've integrated the use of perks very well. You can see a different flash when you kill enemies or when you hit enemies, when you've got perks working toward it. That's always very good to see. Just the idea of using percentages and numbers instead of bars. It may not be what was intended by the Payday developers, but what it does is it allows for more precision, more cooperative. I suppose it allows for greater cooperation outside of like TeamSpeak or Skype, because you guys can see your friends' numbers or just the guys you're playing with. It's going to allow you to, as I said earlier, chain ECMs. Instead of you being angry that a guy isn't reviving you, you can see, well, he's fixing the drill, for example. You can see exactly how long he has on that, whether he'll be able to get to you in time. Things like that, it's going to ease your mind and allow for, if your whole team's using it, much better team cooperation. As far as the smaller considerations are concerned, I suppose I wouldn't mind seeing something, as I mentioned earlier, as far as the detection rates on civilians appearing. Multiple detection rates, that is. I wouldn't want the screen to be flooded. However, I feel like maybe if you see one civilian has 20% detection rate and the other has 40, you can plan your route a little more comfortably than just knowing that, well, the one who sees you the most sees you for 40. It's a delicate change that could be made. Talking about why that sort of thing is dangerous to do is something that I imagine a lot of guys may ask for, something like a hit number. So you see it in games like TF2 or more prominently in Borderlands. Hit numbers when you hit enemies. It's quite satisfying to see lots of numbers coming up, and it's very arcadey. And Payday is, to an extent, arcadey in its style, but some of the gameplay features, for example, the high kick and realistic-looking weapons and iron sights, they move away from that, and some realism is most certainly present, and so I don't think people like to lose that altogether. And I think sort of comedic, comic book-like numbers appearing up above enemies' heads might ruin the atmosphere slightly. So one thing I didn't touch on in the video, and you do see in some of the gameplay afterwards, is the assault scroller. That's definitely something that is a great addition. You see exactly what stage the assault wave is in, how many there are still left to spawn, how long it's going to go on for. But the issue is it scrolls, and sometimes the information isn't fed as quickly as you'd like it to be. Possibly making that more stationary and continuous would be a better way to go with that. Equally, it's worth noting as things develop within the game in the future, we're going to see new updates, new improvements, and new concepts within Payday itself that are going to have to be accounted for by the HUD, and I imagine it will, absolutely. So that's not anything we need to worry about. The important thing about this HUD is what it gives you is precision, and Payday is it's important in Payday to be precise because a single slip up can cost you the mission. So I feel like it's the perfect mod for any Payday player to carry, and as I said, it's not a regressive mod. It's not going to make the game trivial or ridiculous or anything that any of the other mods that you may have seen out on the internet will do. And so on the whole, it's an absolute brilliant pickup for anyone just to try out. I implore you guys, try it out even if you don't think you need an improved HUD, you feel like you prefer bare bones. I feel like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face in that direction. So, guys, I will fully recommend this to everybody. All you have to do is simply download it and join the group. It's extremely simple to pick up. No complaints about the way they run or manage it. It's brilliant. I hope you guys will agree with me using it on my future videos. One final thing just to mention, a little bit of more personalization or customizable HUD might be a good addition, allowing you to move around some of your menus and interchange things and colours particularly. I know I'm picky about my colours. That would be something I'd love to see the developers of this third-party mod change in the future, but I understand the time constraints and just how brilliant this is in itself as it is. I fully appreciate that, and I can't wait to see where this mod will move in the future. Guys, I'm going to leave you with some brilliant dancing that you guys may or may not find within this mod. Guys, enjoy HoxHud. Thanks for watching.
It made me think of all the many things I've sacrificed